Good morning, third graders. Today is Monday, May 11th. We have a new book today. Our new book today is a fictional story, which means it is obviously not true. It's one of our classic tales called The Hare and the Tortoise. And in most classic tales, we learn a lesson. So I want you to be thinking about, as you listen to this story today, what lesson that you will learn. This story takes place in the wild, in the woods, with a bunch of animals. And the main characters are the hare and the tortoise. Okay. In this story, Hare thinks and a hare is a very large rabbit, thinks he is the fastest animal in the forest. And so he decides he wants to have a race to prove that he is the fastest animal. The other animals don't care for Hare because he brags a lot. And when people brag, they really talk about themselves and make themselves kind of show off to others. They make themselves look better than other people. And so the other animals in the forest don't care for that. So we're going to read to find out what happens. The hare and the tortoise. And you may have heard this story before. A long time ago, there lived a hare and a tortoise. The tortoise was quiet and kind, but the hare was loud and liked to brag a lot. "I'm the fastest animal of all," he would say. "No one could ever beat me in a race." Hare bragged so much that no one believed him. "You talk so much," said the frog, "that you don't have time to race." "I'm pretty fast myself," said the squirrel. "Me too," said the raccoon. "You're not as fast as I am," said the hare. "I'll race you." "No, thanks," said the frog. "Not today," said the squirrel. "I don't think so," said the raccoon. But quietly, the tortoise said, "I will race you." "You must be joking," said the hare. "You are the slowest animal of all." "I'm not joking," said the tortoise. So the two agreed to race the next morning. Animals from near and far heard about the race, but the next morning a crowd had gathered. Everyone was sure the hare would win. After all, he was the fastest animal. But everyone hoped that Tortoise would win. After all, he was the kindest animal. Soon the hare and the tortoise were at the start line. The frog rang the bell and the race began. The hare took off like a rocket. He ran past the tortoise and called, "Goodbye, tortoise. This will be a very easy race for me." The tortoise walked slowly along the path. "I will not listen to the hare," he thought. "Let him say what he wants. I will just keep going." The hare was near the finish line. When he looked back, he could hardly see the tortoise. "This is such a silly race," he said. "That slow tortoise could never beat me. I can take my time and still win the race." So the hare stopped to eat some leaves. Then he drank some cool water from the lake. He ate and drank until he was very full. The hare started to feel sleepy. "I think I'll take a little nap," he said. "The tortoise is very far behind. I can rest and still win the race." So the hare sat down and closed his eyes. Soon he was fast asleep. He dreamed that he won the race. Meanwhile, the tortoise walked slowly along the path. He walked all day. He was very tired, but he didn't stop. Soon he walked right past the sleeping hare. Uh-oh. "Is that the finish line?" the tortoise thought. "Yes, it is. All the animals are cheering. I'm almost there." All the cheering woke up the hare. "What is going on?" he asked. Then he saw that the tortoise was almost at the finish line. "Oh no, this can't be happening. No one could ever beat me in a race," he said. The hare jumped up. He ran as fast as he could, but it was too late. The tortoise crossed the finish line and won the race. I can't believe that you beat me, said the hare. The tortoise smiled and said quietly, slow and steady wins the race. And after that, the hare never bragged again. Now, if you think about this book, Hare obviously should have won the race, but because he decided to eat and he was so overconfident, he ended up taking a nap, he ended up losing. So I want you to think about those words. The lesson in this book is slow and steady wins the race. Think for a minute about what that actually means. The tortoise, even though he was slow, kept going. He never gave up. So what the author is trying to teach us is that people who keep going, never give up, and do what they're supposed to do usually come out on top or come out the winners. But people who think they are better than others, even though they are, sometimes wind up losing. So, be confident, keep going, and don't give up is the lesson to be learned from this book. If you think about the two characters, Hare, some words that they use to describe Hare. Fast, which is positive, but brags. It's kind of mean or unkind. When they talked about Tortoise, they used the word slow, but they also said that he was very kind and he was well liked. Think about which character you would rather be friends with and write about that in your writing book on Tuesday. So think about the character that would make a better friend. Would it be Hare or would it be Tortoise? All right, one other thing we're going to do today is we're going to talk about words that are called compound words. Compound words are when we put two words together to make one new word, okay? So the first compound word that you see here is sunset. Sun and set could be separate words, but put together, they talk about the sun going down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the word sunset. We're going to keep the first part of the compound word, sun. We're going to change the last part and see what new word we come up with. So the first one here is sunset. Take away set and add rise. Think about the word that you would get, sun plus rise. In your mind, you should have come up with sunrise, okay, when the sun comes up. We're going to get rid of rise, and you are going to add light. So instead of sunrise, you have sun. You should have said sunlight, okay? So we're going to get rid of light, which is the second part of the compound word. Now we have sun, and you're going to change light to shine. Think about what word it would make. You should have said sunshine. We're going to get rid of shine in the compound word, and you're going to add flower instead. Sun plus flower. You should be saying sunflower. Okay. Flower is half of the compound word, and instead of flower, we're going to add burn. This is what happened to me yesterday. I got a sun plus burn makes sunburn. We're going to get rid of the burn. We're going to add day instead, and you're going to get a day of the week. You should have said Sunday. Okay. We're going to change day to set, and we're back to our original word, which is sunset when it goes down at the end of the day. So compound words, when we take two words like sun and set, put them together and make a new word, sunset. All right, remember to watch the video again tomorrow and do your writing assignment, which is to talk about which character would make a better friend, Hare or Tortoise. So you would start by saying, I think Hare would make a better friend because, or I think Tortoise would make a better friend because. All right, have a good week.